For agenda additions or deletions, we do have a deletion, Kevin Peck. He's not heard back from the state, so he'd like to, be removed. So, is anyone want to make a motion on that?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We just started now, Rob,
Okay.
so you don't have to have detention.
What'd you say now?
You don't go to detention.
Okay. Sorry I'm late. I would have had to recuse myself on the minutes anyway, so, because I wasn't here for the last meeting. So.
I haven't got to the
Didn't do the
minutes
minutes
yet.
yet.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll start your discussion by saying I'm gonna be recusing myself from the minutes because I wasn't here. How's that?
Okay. Is there a motion for the minutes of August 9th?
I'll make a motion subject to corrections, which I didn't see any.
Second.
All right, is there anyone noticed any corrections or deletions? I looked it over, it looked good to me.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, good job, Katie. So is motion made, seconded, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, let's move right on down to the road commissioner. What do you got for a report?
First of all, we have, an access driveway permit. Does Mike have a copy of that?
Yes, I do, right here. You wanna act on that right now? Okay, there's a,
This is, okay, go ahead.
yeah, there's a, under highway, we'll put this access permit under that, and it's for Ralph Merrill Senior. And did you look this over?
It requires a culvert.
Yep, and he understands it?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, good.
Where exactly is it, Cash?
On Higher Road.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
If the road commissioner's good with it, I'll make a motion that we approve it, subject to his, recommendations.
there's a second. Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Mike?
Anyone opposed? Okay, road commissioner's report.
Okay, second of all, I got just a FYI, the solar project, I really didn't want to bring it up since Marge is here right now, but the solar project on Alfrecha Road, just to let the select board know and the townspeople that they are boring a hole under the railroad tracks to cross it because they can't put no lines over the tracks.
Right.
They will be going approximately 350 feet along Alfrecha Road from the rail tracks to gain access into the field.
And I assume that all those,
We have,
permits are in order?
that's all state documents, and we have actually a blueprint of it
Good.
to put on file. And then,
When is that gonna start? Is there a date?
looking at October, they're actually starting to set poles and stuff on the 10-acre lot of Pekoski's this week.
That's
That one is on
Danny's
Danny
project.
Pekoski out
Yeah.
in Middle Road.
Yeah.
Okay.
By my place, my friend. That's that. The other thing I have, just an update of the berm removal on Coal River. I have a, drawing here that has been drawn up as a blueprint, and each one of you have that.
Yep.
They, of course, with the grants and stuff and the funding isn't enough to remove the whole berm, the whole length as originally planned. So what they did is they came in, rescoped it, and gonna take out, say, the hot spots of where most aggressive progress would be.
Okay.
And that would be towards the Route 7 side. Also, and with this being said, they're gonna use they're gonna extract the material in sections there and actually cross the river onto Pekoski property and get on Middle Road and then come up across the bridge. As soon as they cross the bridge, they'll be going down to the rail tracks on the farm road as a dump site to store the material.
Is it gonna be stored there, or it says it's a fill site?
Or a fill site.
They're just
yeah.
gonna drop it there. Is
Yeah.
that where it's gonna live for the rest
That's
of
where
it?
it's gonna be there, and they're actually gonna the material that they're gonna scrape off will be put back on top as a cover for
What goes
sod
on?
or,
Now, there's trees down in there and stuff too, right? What are you gonna do with those?
they gotta be removed,
Yeah, okay.
whether it be chipped or, that's up to the contractor on that part. With that being said, they're originally gonna come off the end of the berm at Mill River, or at Coal River itself at the bridge, on the north end of the bridge. But long they're not doing the whole project, they can't gain access to where they need to be, so that's why they're coming across the river. With that being said, they were gonna have to have a full-time flaggers at Middle Road, because it's gonna be a straight across the road for vehicles coming down, up and down the road. So I suggested to Josh to, long they got come across the river to, on Penkoski's, which they got permission to do, that way they'll be on one lane of the middle road headed north to empty, to dump their load, and then come back, they'll be on one lane, southbound lane. You don't even have to cross one lane of traffic. It was suggested that we reduce the speed limit during the working hours of that time, or I don't know if it should be all the time, because the signs will be permanent until the project's completed.
I would say permanently until the project's completed.
Okay.
I tried to do that years ago and I got all kinds of no's.
What's that?
Reduce that speed limit for the whole road there, actually, for the whole
Yeah,
entire
we're
middle.
looking at
but
a
this is-
$500 or 500-foot stretch, I believe.
You're really just talking for the construction season, then it would go back to the normal.
Yeah, and this, they're looking at like, he thinks he can do it in a week, but probably at least 2 weeks.
So they don't wanna change it permanently to the.
No,
Just the
no,
2-week time
just
period.
that 2 week
Wanted to change it to 35.
in that length of time.
Didn't happen.
It was brought up of what was be suggested for a speed limit reduced to
To go to 25.
25 or 30.
I think 25
Yeah,
with
it's
with the trucks crossing and going in
it's
and
a
out.
safety issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
25 for that short period of time, I
Yep.
don't
Yeah.
think would be a
Right.
big issue.
I think it makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you guys have to, approve it, first
I'll make a motion to approve the construction zone traffic plan for the Cold River berm removal project
For the duration of the construction.
for the duration of the construction. Yeah, for the
Second that.
project.
And
For
Rick, you're
25 miles per hour.
you're seconding it, Rick?
Yes.
Okay. For discussion, I'm thinking that, we somehow ought to post this around town,
Yeah, I have to at
Yeah.
all the locations.
yeah, and put it on the website. Is there any other discussion?
Looks like they're coming out of Phil's far north of the dry bridge.
If you remember back in Irene, the Army
Where they hauled
Corps
out there. Yeah,
was
same
coming
spot.
out of the same spot, where
Yeah.
it's all hard for them and not disturb
Yeah.
much of any vegetation on
That's how they
Penkoski
did it
property.
many years ago,
What's that?
back in 92 or 93, when they did that for the airport, when they took
Yep,
all that.
that's the same,
Yeah.
same spot they used.
Same area.
All right.
One other question, you're talking they can't do it all, there's not enough money. Is there any discussion of sometime in the future, maybe finishing the project, or they're not? They're just dropping it
I-
right there?
I don't know.
Don't know.
My personal opinion, if any more funding is available, it ought to be on maintenance on that river.
I
Because
agree
that-
there.
That river
Talked
is,
about that for a long time.
Yeah.
that river's got a buildup of 2 to 6 feet of material
Well,
That came down.
Yeah.
came down,
Not
that's,
only that, on the west side, where the
north side.
railroad trestle is,
Okay. Right.
when they did that originally, you could stand right there and you couldn't jump up and touch that
Right.
bridge. Now look at it.
you gotta bend over to
And the
one.
thing is,
Yeah.
it's not, the span isn't big enough to, so when there's a rush of water coming down there, it dams it up
Yep.
even more.
If there's another large-scale incident, I
Yeah.
think I would be very nervous about our bridge, and the railroad would definitely be very nervous, in my opinion.
And with a meeting with Josh Carbonell and, Shannon, and I'm trying to think of the third one. Nancy McGuire. I really pushed them because standing on that bridge, the river comes down through and crosses just before it goes across the bridge, under the bridge. When it crosses, it's hitting the southeast abutment, big time. So that was actually a kind of a good thing they saw it in a sense like that, and Josh said, well, and then to bring that up to speed, Katie and fill in a little bit. We're doing the hazard litigation plan,
Yeah.
and we're actually so-called looking at as a hotspot, that river, because of the
issues down there.
because of the issues.
I mean, we've been talking about it the entire length of me being on, how many times have we gone down there?
Yeah.
I mean, the buildup in the river is a major problem, and I know you're not allowed to call it taking out fill anymore, but talking about, they said manicuring it, so at least there's, some maintenance of the root of the
It has to be, the material has to be removed, because if you just
Oh, sure.
push it aside, it's
Sure.
just gonna roll back in.
there's no way
Down through.
there's no way to just roll it to the sides, and it's gotta come out.
I bet when they do the berm, they're gonna dredge that.
Nope, they're not
No,
gonna
they-
touch, they're not
They're
gonna touch the
actually real evident of where he travels.
But the thing, it looks to me though, what's gonna happen is, they'll take that berm out, it'll spread out to the property you guys own,
Right.
Yeah.
and it'll move the whole river. You watch. If we have a big rain
bed.
event
Oh,
or
you
something.
think, you're talking about it'll go out in there.
Yeah, but, and then once that's filled in, it's gonna move the whole river where it won't go
possible.
under that bridge anymore.
It's gonna
That's-
come back to the bridge.
Yeah, and then
Could be.
look out, look what it did on Route 7.
Yeah.
On the big Route 7.
Because right now with the berms is basically somewhat being directed.
It'll certainly open it up to have more wandering.
Spread.
There's no doubt about that.
Where the water spreads, I think.
And I would give you my personal opinion about the whole berm removal, but I'm not gonna get involved in it.
But it does all lead right back, and Robert said a minute ago, maintenance on that river. That
Yes.
should be dredged out every 5 years.
Well, the thing too that I go back to is, typical, dare I say, government operation. How long have we been talking about this project? This project,
You got it, Robert.
this project could have been, I mean, this money's been sitting now for what, 3 years almost? I mean,
Well, they actually want, talking to Nancy today, just giving an update on that, they actually want to shut the project down because now they've gone for the 4th extension.
well, if they're gonna shut the project down, the town wants its 10 grand back.
Yeah.
I mean, the town at this point kicked in because that was on the ballot that year.
Right.
The town kicked in 10 grand.
But they probably give it to some
Right.
Mexican, so they can
So-
move here.
But, it's moving forward that way.
Interesting.
We're
I mean,
still-
that's just where I go. I
You
mean,
know how fast that was dredged out when they were building the airport? How fast, all of a sudden they made this big decision?
yeah, they need material.
Yeah, so, come on.
I mean, the reality though of, I know what our 10,000 that got kicked in for that part of the project, I think on the road to completion.
It's about wrapped up.
It's about wrapped up. So, but at the same time, look at how much costs have increased in those 3 to 4 years that those funds have been sitting where they've been sitting. It's been, in my opinion, it's been a fiasco from day one. But
In discussion.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it, I'm very disturbed about the berm.
Has Danny been informed about?
He was actually at the meeting with us,
Good, okay. What was his input?
just like all us, get it removed.
Yeah.
You weren't happy because only part of it, but it is what it is.
at least some of it's getting done.
Yep.
Do you have anything else, Ken?
That's it.
All right, anybody have anything for cash? Any questions? How's things going with the crew down there?
Very good.
Good?
Yeah.
All right.
That's
good.
I guess the only thing I'll notice is that that pothole, I think, is starting to, either it's compacted down a little bit or starting to open back up a little bit by Scott Brook.
Scott Brook, I see it today.
It's not anyway, it's nowhere near as bad as it was, but it's starting to
It's showing up a little bit.
show a little more again.
It's a
I got
turn
another one there
extricate
on
me.
Culver Road too.
What'd you say?
There's another one there and a one-sided good one on Culver Road that I keep forgetting to do, that I've got a few phone calls about and I keep forgetting it. I gotta do it.
Okay.
And, while we were on Peck TV, briefly, you guys did a great job down at the fairground.
Yes.
And, Adam may want your signature after watching you pick the cars up and oh, look, here comes cash. Good job, you guys. Anything else under highway? No more questions. Okay, approval of select board warrants. They're floating and drifting. Have you signed them yet, Cash?
I
All
got
right,
them
Robbie.
too.
Yeah, Robbie hasn't either. Public comments. You have any?
Yeah, I'm wondering if I can get the solar, Green Mountain Power electrical lines that they're gonna bury. You got some state stuff there. I'm wondering if I could have a copy of that, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's the other.
This is actually just a blueprint of that project and then a location picture.
Oh, do you have the permits and
The
stuff
stuff-
you got from the state?
This is, yeah, I have
Yeah,
all
that's what I meant.
yep,
Yeah.
yeah.
If I can have a copy.
Is that the Alfrecha one, Cass, or is that
This
the?
is Alfrecha.
That's the, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
We can make a copy before you go.
Yeah.
Do you want it right now? I can do it right now. If you don't mind.
Run
Charger,
me one too, would you, Kate?
Okay.
charger. Oh, I had blueberries. They were pretty good.
I'll, take those warrants while she's doing that, and I can sign those.
What was the fairgrounds population?
I'm in the process of working on it. I don't have the final figure. I've got everything in the truck to finish it tonight. I don't have the final numbers yet.
Wait,
I'm close. I'm almost there. I just don't have them quite done yet.
you think it was a good, yeah?
The gates were up roughly 30, between 30 and 40% were up. So, yep.
When we were down there Saturday night, I kept yelling to you when you were walking by.
Oh, I never heard you.
No, that's because I had a haircut. So
Oh.
you didn't know. But, Adam goes, let him do his job, Dad.
I never heard you. I'm sorry.
But,
But if
It
it was
looked like
if it was Saturday, I was probably
Yeah.
dragging pretty good too. So,
it was, quite a crowd in there.
yeah.
And, you know, people
Yeah,
were
Saturday
excited.
Saturday was a good crowd.
Yeah, and I was looking out the racetrack and all this stuff. How many cars you had parked in there? That was unbelievable. Jesus.
This is the first time in several years that we've had to close gates because we
Yeah.
ran out of parking.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah. No, it was a very, very successful year, and we're already signing contracts and getting stuff rolling for next year. So,
Never ends.
You gotta sign these still, right?
Yep.
When you're done, you just,
One of the best midways I've ever seen as far as riding.
we've had a decent midway in. That's for sure.
I tell you what, the food was sure good.
There was a lot of food.
My first stop,
Definitely
of
had
course,
that.
is the usual one down at MSJ.
Yep.
And, Heidi was telling me today, when I stopped down earlier today, that they ran out of food, huh?
Lots of vendors
Seriously?
ran out of
Yeah.
food. Yep. Lots of vendors ran out of food. So,
That's a good sign.
all right, we're back at it now.
Yeah. Here, Bob, give that cash. You have anything else, Marge? Okay. Old business, anybody have any questions, old business? All right, any new business? Okay, Katie, would you like to give us a report?
Just that Cash and Matt and I continue to work on that hazard mitigation plan. We're hoping to wrap it up in September. That's all I
Anybody
have.
making any calls, nervousness and all that from the public? All right, anybody, select boards have any questions for Katie? All right. Cass, you have any concerns?
No, all set.
Bob?
No, things are looking pretty good at the minute. Just kinda nice to see Marge back.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have nothing. Bob, you have anything?
Nothing, thank you for your, kind comments about the fair. We
Oh.
definitely had a good week and appreciate those of you that came down, and we'll look forward to next year.
Rick?
I got a hold of the Sheriff's Department for some traffic control areas, include Moulton Avenue. I hope that slowed down a little bit. And up on,
Not
Walker
much
Mountain
depth,
Road.
but, it's a
They
hard
came
to
down our
control
way.
unless you're right there.
Instead of your way, they came down my way. But, other than that, things are pretty good.
Speaking of Sheriff's Department, I did get a complaint. It was noise again up on the other end of town, and it was firework related and that type of thing. I don't know. I haven't heard anything since. I did say I would bring it up, and wanting to know if we, noise ordinance and all that. And I told them at this time we really don't have. There isn't one.
Yeah.
And it sounded to me like there's a group, just as a heads up, that are looking to probably bring a petition for one at some point soon, so.
Very difficult to write.
It's a very difficult issue. I know it was the other side of town, for sure, but, I kinda just directed them that right now, I believe it was Airport Road was the bulk of it,
Yeah.
but, I said that, Sheriff's Department and the state police are really the first response if there's a major issue, and, that was kinda where it was left, so sounds to me like there's talk of the citizens in that side of town potentially wanting something done, so.
The fallback for us has always been, we just go by what the state regs are.
Correct.
That's what we've been using, yeah.
I go over and water the cemetery, and they were letting those off very close to the airport.
Really?
And I mean, they were massive.
Yeah. And so they were the
No permit?
skyrockets and stuff like
Well,
that.
and that's,
Yeah.
Lots of boom, boom, boom.
to my knowledge, the week I was gone, I don't think you guys issued any permits
No.
at last meeting,
know.
so.
We
We had one the week before,
Yeah.
or the meeting
Yeah.
before, but aside from what we issued the permit for, isn't what I got the complaint about, that's for sure, so, that's where we're at, so. Hearing the Sheriff's Department jogged my memory on that, so.
Anybody else have anything else? If not, I entertain a motion.
So moved. Second?
You beat him, Bob, that's good. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?